What's up, guys? Welcome to That Canadian Youth Pastor. Hey, this summer I had the opportunity to go speak at a summer camp where I met two awesome youth pastors, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you a conversation that we had about, you guessed it, youth ministry. You're going to see that coming up. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm super excited to be up here at Caton's Island with two new friends of mine, and we are going to just take a few minutes and talk about one of the subjects that we're all really passionate about, and that is youth ministry. So real quick, guys, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Where are you serving in ministry?
Yeah, so my name's Ryan Ranni. I'm a student pastor, one of the student pastors with here in Fredericton at Hope City Church. And I'm from Fredericton. Grew up in Fredericton, went to school in Fredericton, went to Bible school in Moncton, and now I'm back in Fredericton serving there in youth ministry, leading that up.
Cool, awesome.
I feel like almost like Ryan kind of just not stole what I had, but we saw such similar stories that my name's Shane. I have a very similar story to Ryan to the point where I grew up in Fredericton, was raised in Fredericton, went to Hope City, and then went to Bible school and then came back, and now I'm working youth ministry at Hope City alongside Ryan as well.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
I am 19.
You're 19. How old are you?
20.
20.
Yeah,
So this is why I'm so excited about this. I'm 22, and most of the time I have a hard time finding youth pastors that are even close to my age. And right here we got a 19 and a 20-year-old youth pastor killing it in Fredericton. This is awesome. So real quick, before we jump into some of the main questions that we have, I really am curious to know, if you could have any superpower, guys, what would it be and why?
Oh, and why?
Yeah, and why? I need to know your thinking process.
So for me, I kind of knew this question beforehand, and I gave it a lot of thought because I just know the utmost importance to this. But there's some deep thing inside me that almost just wants to just be like a manly man and just a big protector. And I feel like the whole superpower thing, as much as I could think about it and be like, oh, what's the best? Do I want to read minds? Do I want to fly? I just want Wolverine claws. I just want to be able to pull those things out and just feel like a man.
He doesn't even be fighting. He just like take them out just for fun of it. No, that's good. You know, see, for me, I think I'd want it. See, I was thinking about this, and I was like, I could go with like the traditional like fly.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to kind of like fly, but then I was like, man, like I'm here at camp. We have like big lineups for stuff like zip lining or food and all that stuff. You get really hungry, canteen. I'm like, man, I just want to teleport. I want to be able to like teleport.
Yes.
Teleport. Get me to the front of this line. Like, oh, it's like when it gets cold here. It gets cold in Fredericton. You guys feel that too at Halifax? I just want to teleport, bring me to Florida, bring me somewhere. Man, that's it. I'll teleport in the sky, fly from there.
That's awesome. You know, Jesus teleported.
Did Jesus also have Wolverine claws?
No, I don't know if he teleported. But there is one story in the gospel somewhere where it's like, wait, how did he get out?
Philip,
you know, when they're trying to push him off the cliff, and then it says like,
he's gone, and you're like,
he just like went through the crowd. It's like, how? Like,
it's like because it wasn't his time.
I guess. Yeah. Anyway, away from that, we're gonna jump into a few questions about youth ministry. My first question for you guys is this: why did you decide at the age of 19, the age of 20, why did you decide to get into youth ministry in the first place?
That's good. For me, like the last probably three years or so, when I was about grade 11 and 12, I was really serving in a church in Fredericton. It was across the river from where I'm at now, but I was just really serving. Really got passionate in high school, just about ministry, about serving, and I was just given the opportunity to serve and to grow in different ways. And it really just brought me to a place where I was like, God, like if you're calling me in this direction, like I just want to surrender to that, be open to that. So I did go to Bible school for a semester, and then at that point it was just totally God's hand in opening the doors for me to be at Hope City. And I've just been desiring for God to use me and that passion to have students and to lead in those ways. And yeah, it's just kind of like a deciding yes, but also just God's just been opening the doors at 19. Yeah.
Cool.
For me, it kind of just like boom, like happened. Like I was volunteering a lot in my youth group, but I really didn't feel like I had that heart just for the kids that like every youth pastor, youth minister should have. And I remember that last year here at Caton's Island, that as I was coming here and just doing our weeks like we are right now, that God just really started working my heart, and whether that was just through students worshiping, watching them, and just really God just touched my heart in that way. And someone was like, boom, like Shane, like you need to be in ministry, like Shane, like you need to be a pastor. And I almost, like I went off to Bible school and God opened the doors, same as Ryan, but I almost feel like in the end game, like God clearly, and I feel like he's like this for a lot of youth ministers that he's pushing you into that deeper pastoral calling.
Yeah.
But I also fully believe that whatever the season is, that God's going to call you and God's going to let your heart feel for that season. So for me, being in youth ministry, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. But I fully believe that I'm in this season and God is going to give me that regardless of where I am, as long as it's somewhere where I'm walking in.
Yeah.
So love youth ministry, but I believe there's so much with God that's just pushing me in that direction.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So all of us are rookie youth pastors. I just started in youth ministry as the youth pastor of my church in the fall. If I'm correct, I believe you guys just started in January.
Yeah.
So all three of us are rookie youth pastors. We're learning, we're experiencing a lot of new things, and I'd really love to hear from you guys in the first couple months of youth ministry. If there was one thing that you've learned that stands out to you perhaps more than anything else that you would love to share with other youth pastors or youth leaders who might be watching, what would that one thing be?
That's good. That's good.
I feel like for us, like, since we just came into it so early, so young, not that people didn't have expectations for us, because they did, but it's like, it's almost like you expect the young guys to make no mistakes. So for us, it was just so easy to just make those mistakes and learn from them, whether that was we had a bad idea about a night, or we said something wrong, or did something wrong, like whatever it was. It's just learning from your mistakes, and I feel like that's one of the big things inside me, because I always grew up and I always just want to be the dominant personality. I want to be the leader. I want to be the person that did everything perfect. But at the same time, like, if you're going to do everything perfect, like, God's not going to grow you.
Yeah.
So I feel like one of the biggest things, like in youth ministry, especially coming out of Bible school, just feeling like you have to almost like prove yourself, that just don't. Just know that you're going to make mistakes and God's going to grow you with those mistakes and everything along the way.
That's
So and I would just kind of add on to that, like in starting off and just being young, understanding that at the same time being young, you're in this season of life for the season that you're in it. So just enjoy that. I mean, building connections, I felt, has been the biggest thing for me. So for us, like, you find a group of boys, and we each get to lead a life group at our church. Like, Shane's with the middle schoolers, I'm with the high schoolers, and we just get to like go out, play sports, and go out. It's like we don't really have much responsibility. It's like we just dropped out of Bible school. we were 18, 19 when we started, 19, 20. That like to go to build connections, make those relationships with the students, and it's all in prayer that when it comes to the point that Jesus is just going to encounter them, that we're there just so excited and cheering them on as they enter into that next season.
That's so cool. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and focus on relationship with the kids. That's so good. Relationship 101. Always need to make sure that relationships are a priority as a youth pastor. If not, it's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
My last question for you guys is this. As we've been talking and having conversations this week, I've been just really encouraged as I've heard your guys' heart for outreach and evangelism and just being focused on not just the students who are already within the church, but focusing on unchurched students who are in your community and have yet to hear the gospel and experience Jesus. And so for a guy like me, and I'm sure there's lots of other youth pastors and youth leaders out there like me, I'm looking to take my youth ministry in a direction where we grow in our ability to reach unchurched students. And because you guys have already been focused on this in such a really cool way, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, are there any tips, any insights, any ideas you would give a youth pastor who's wanting to figure out how they can start reaching more unchurched students in their youth ministry?
Yeah. I mean, we were lucky coming in, really. Like, our church has for years and years had an outreach night where once a week, like, we have a bus go out and bring like outreach a lot of just unchurched kids to church. So we coming into that really been blessed with that, to have that emphasis of, we want to reach out and test that. As far as just like some helpers or some pointers, a lot of it is just bringing it right back to the simplicity of the gospel. Just understanding, what's going to bring them here is, like, for us, like, we just have a night that we have. And when they come, a lot of these, like, unchurched kids that come on Tuesday nights for us is yes, they haven't heard much about God, but they don't even really have someone in their life that loves and cares about them, loves and cares about them much, to call them out for things, or to say, I believe that there's so much more for you than the things that are in your life right now, or I care so much about you that I don't want to see you like run off and try and do this or that. So it's like we do have like a good solid like even discipline sort of thing with that. But as far as like bringing those unchurched kids in, it's just having those leaders that are like, I want to love on these kids. I want to show the love, the grace of Jesus on these kids. And if it's an hour and a half a week that I just get to like rain it on them, it's just really understanding, and growth kind of changes. Your growth is just kind of, as opposed to just having more kids come, or your growth as opposed to having how many kids like raise their hands in worship. As far as having those unchurched kids come in, it's like your growth starts to realize like what seeds are being planted. And I'm praying that that fruit is going to be seen as a result of just the love that we give. Even when we don't see it, like God is watering those seeds that we plant. So just really emphasizing that we might not always see it, but to have that selfless and servant's heart, you know what, like we're just going to love regardless and just pour out that grace.
That's so good.
Yeah, at the end of the day too, like regardless, like what we always pray is that it's like, Jesus, just break our heart for what breaks yours. Because like outreach ministry will look different depending on your city, depending on your church. Like if someone were to try to do it the exact identical way we did it, it probably wouldn't work in the same way. So it's like really at the end of the day, if you're just praying that God break my heart for what breaks yours, like Jesus' heartbeat was for the lost. Like Jesus' heartbeat was to go reach those students, reach those people that don't know him. In outreach ministry, that's the center right there. So as long as that you're just praying for God to break your heart and for God to show, you're just really just going to trust that like God's Spirit's going to show you how to do it, who to minister to. And there's so many times that at the end of the night, like we need to go up to a kid and we need to say, man, sorry, like you're just based on your action, you're showing that you don't want to be here next week, and like you're gonna have to take the week off. And doing that breaks my heart because it's like they miss that chance to hear the gospel again. But at the end of the day, I want to say where the most, like almost majority of our fruit has come out of is telling a kid that they have to take a week off, and then them seeing them respond, and how we do it out of love and showing that someone loves them enough to say that, and then them coming week and just seeing a complete turnaround because it's showing that they want to be here and they're not abusing that privilege. But also they take it more seriously because we don't come down on them like probably their parents or teachers would. We come down on them in just the exact way that we believe Christ would.
Right. That's awesome. Hey, well, Ryan, Shane, thank you guys so much for just taking some time to talk youth ministry with me. I really believe that this conversation is going to be helpful for some of the people who are watching today. And with that being said, I'm excited to get back into camp.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for it. All right, guys.